The second Elon Musk bought Twitter, the Democrats realized the next election couldn't be rigged. The FBI wouldn't be able to censor speech to help Biden win. Musk had to be taken out. This was a job for Media Matters. The left-wing media watchdog group put the hit out on Friday. Corporate ads on Twitter are running right next to Nazi content, Media Matters claimed. They put out screenshots of white supremacist videos next to ads for IBM, Apple, Oracle, Xfinity, Bravo, many others. These are Fortune 500 companies, many of them, and they panicked. IBM suspended advertising on Twitter. So did Apple, Disney, Comcast, Paramount. All those companies pulled ads. Media Matters then did a victory dance.
The platform is so saturated with extremism, with white genocide, with anti-Semitism, with racism, with conspiracy theories, things that otherwise should be managed in some way, that they can't actually protect the few brands that are still willing to remain on the platform.
But according to Musk, Media Matters made the story up. They created fake accounts, and these fake accounts followed Nazis. Then the fake accounts kept refreshing their pages until ads popped up. And then they took photos and claimed it was all organic. This is like paying people to dress up as Nazis, sending them to a company headquarters, taking pictures of them at company headquarters, and then saying, oh, you know, your company loves Nazis. Elon Musk caught them red-handed and is now hitting them with what he described as a thermonuclear lawsuit to counter the, quote, fraudulent attack. Now, if Musk wins this lawsuit and bankrupts Media Matters, it would constitute an enormous victory for free speech and the conservative media. Primetime doesn't like when people lose their jobs, but in this case, we'll make an exception.
Shot, kid. That was 1 in a million. We are back in studio. It's your boy Benny. Today is Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. Hello, salty pilgrims. We are all salty pilgrims this week. Elon Musk files thermonuclear lawsuit against Media Matters. Multiple state Republican attorney generals launch investigations. This is such a good thing. The energy is here. More polls show Trump beating Biden as Morning Joe has meltdown on air. You can't do what we've been doing to you. You're not allowed to put us in prison. We put you in prison. Oh, we'll get there, baby. It's amazing. Get your salt shakers ready, salty pilgrims. And Monica de la Cruz, congresswoman from Texas who just served Border Patrol turkey with Donald Trump, joins the show. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. We have been rocking, we have been rolling, and we are not done yet, not by the least. We have so much planned for this holiday season. We are going to be giving back. We are excited about it. We keep our energy up. We keep our energy high. We must have more energy than the communist. The communist has nothing to live for. The communists are miserable people. They hate you. They're lazy. They're slobs. They're people. They don't provide anything. They don't create anything. The communists, however, have only one stated goal, which is, of course, to destroy everything. Because, well, self-loathing and all, they just have no reason to exist. So why not make the world miserable for everyone? Misery loves company. That's why you have to have a pep in your step. You have to have a little more energy than the communist. That's why you need to drink blackout coffee. Blackout coffee is what I drink every single morning. I have, of course, my blackout coffee mug with me at all times with my American flag on it. It is what courses through my sweet veins, and that black caffeinated juice brew keeps me going with the energy to fight the communists. Support an all-American company that supports you. Go to blackoutcoffee.com today/Benny and use a coupon code for 20% off your first order. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Stay awake, not woke. It's true. Such a great tagline. So somebody who is awake, ladies and gentlemen, is of course Elon Musk. And I have an interesting photo to show you right now from 2 years ago in Virginia. It's a photo of a bunch of tiki torch black white supremacists, okay? Standing outside of soon-to-be Governor Glenn Youngkin's bus. Now, Glenn Youngkin was running for governor at the time, and this image ping-pong balled around the internet as the defining image of the white supremacists who support Glenn Youngkin. But this doesn't make any sense because there's a black white supremacist there, and then there's sort of a dumpy chick white supremacist there who looks like your, run-of-the-mill liberal activists. Can we zoom in on these, Royce? Here you go. You have your Clayton Bigsby. Anybody know Chappelle Show? So here's your Clayton Bigsby character, right? And then you have your, classic physiognomy, unhappy cat lady lib, right? So everyone scratches their head and goes, "This don't make no sense." Also, why are you holding tiki torches in the rain? Come on. Something doesn't add up. Turns out these were all members of the Democrat Party. They were all Democrat activists, and they worked for the Democrat Party of Virginia. Some of them worked for the guy that was running against Glenn Youngkin. It's fake Nazi. They literally had to create the Nazis, okay? Much like Zelensky clapping for the Nazis in Canada. They had to create the Nazis. They had to create the hate. The largest inequality in America is the inequality of hate crimes that they wish to project to you is what is happening all the time on the right. There is a major there is a huge supply and demand problem when it comes to right-wing hate crimes, white supremacy hate crimes, and narrative fillers for the left. Meanwhile, holy smokes, don't check the racial stats for violent crime. My God, you'll have your mind blown. Actually, don't check any stats anywhere because literally every bit of data ever cuts directly against the media narrative. But that's where we come to a organization called Media Matters, okay? Media Matters, as you know, is the Soros-funded dark money organization that is funded by Arabella Advisors. This is a dark money left-wing group. Man, why are these people they are so organized? There's one thing about the communists, man. They spend all their time organizing. Man, when will Republicans get wise and start putting together the infrastructure the way that the libs do? Anyway, Arabella Advisors. Is that the way I'm saying that right, ALX? Arabella Advisors is this dark money Soros-funded group that is simultaneously funding the Hamas protests, okay, like all throughout America and on campus. So they're anti-Israel, pro-Hamas, right? And then they're also at the same time funding Media Matters to do anti-Semitic hit pieces on Elon Musk. It's amazing. They're funding both sides. It's great. Media Matters came up with a hit piece on Elon Musk saying that neo-Nazi advertising, Arabella. Okay, so Arabella is the name of the group. This is a massive dark money Democrat PAC that is really behind some of the most duplicitous and evil things happening in this country. And quite frankly, like, there needs to be major there needs to be major finance reform when it comes to this kind of stuff. This is like an easy way for foreign money to flow directly into America and mess with our systems. And you are now seeing the results of that right now throughout the country. Anyway, this firm is funding both sides of this, right? And so they went to Media Matters, they put out a hit on Elon Musk. Wow, look at this. Here's screenshots of advertisements next to neo-Nazi content. And much like with Glenn Youngkin, it was actually the left, it was actually them creating and supporting the Nazi accounts. They had to manufacture it. There's a supply and demand problem. There's real economic inequality. There's real inequality in the supply and demand of hatred on the right. That's why they had to manufacture January 6th. That's why they have to manufacture every hoax. They have to create this stuff. They had to create a white supremacist march in order to try and smear Glenn Youngkin. Anybody watching from Virginia? Shout out. So anyway, okay, Democrats decried dark money, then they won with it in 2020. Yeah, this is a New York Times piece on this Arabella advisory firm that's funding, again, the hit jobs on Elon Musk for being anti-Semitic while funding the Hamas protests. You see how that works? It's all about the destruction of America, and it's all about destroying things that they don't fully control. They can't stand not controlling 100% of all media and social media companies. Elon Musk owns one social media company, so he must be put down. So how do you do that? Well, you go after the big-time advertisers, and you say that Elon Musk is advertising against this, Nazi content. Well, here's what happened. Here's how it worked. Media Matters, these people are human scum. They signed up for an account that they followed only the brands that they wanted to target. They followed Apple, they followed IBM, they followed Disney. And then they followed neo-Nazi accounts, all right? Are you a free speech purist, right? Like, if you're a free speech purist, you're going to say, like, I disagree with what you're saying, but you have a right to say it, okay? So there it is, right? These accounts do exist, and they're not going to be ever in your timeline. You're never going to see any of their stuff unless you, like, follow them, engage with them, like, unless that's really what you're seeking out. But that's on you, man, okay? That's on you. Free marketplace of ideas. So Media Matters follows neo-Nazi accounts, and then they refresh. Like 50,000 times, they like refresh the page in order to try and get one screenshot where they integrated the ads next to those accounts. And then Media Matters finally had their screenshot. But that's fraud, because that is not authentic behavior on the platform. That's not engagement the way that any user would ever engage on the platform, right? Not a lot of neo-Nazi accounts following IBM for their content. Unless, of course, they're big fans of what IBM did to collude with the Nazis to effectively put together the infrastructure for the concentration camps, which IBM did do. Why else would a neo-Nazi account follow a place like Disney? Well, because Disney helped China build concentration camps. Amazing how these companies have no problem with China putting Muslims in concentration camps. Disney thanked the Xinjiang province when they made Mulan. This is a province that has concentration camps. But Disney, it's beyond the pale that Media Matters put together a fraudulent piece saying that his advertisements were, placed next to a neo-Nazi content. Meanwhile, Disney is straight up supporting Chinese concentration camps. Same thing with Apple. Apple uses slave labor in China to put together an iPhone. That's a concentration camp. But Apple has no moral qualms with that. No moral hierarchy when it comes to putting an iPhone together using slave labor. But yes, when Media Matters refreshes the page 50,000 times to get one screenshot of an ad that was served one time to one user in an inauthentic behavior, then there's moral outrage and preening, and we pull all the ads. Well, this is designed, obviously, in order to destroy Elon Musk, in order to destroy the one free speech network, one of the few free speech networks that exists, and the only mainstream one. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk said he would file a lawsuit against Media Matters, and he did. And it's awesome. This lawsuit is an absolute thermonuclear, you have the images of it here, just mainline destruction. And I want to read to you, the part about the fraud. Okay, we have the actual lawsuit here. Alex, grab me that. I tweeted out yesterday when it comes to what the actual lawsuit alleges. Here we go. Never mind. I got it right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's how it worked. Media Matters executed this plot in multiple steps. X's internal investigations have revealed. First, Media Matters accessed accounts that have been active for at least 30 days by bypassing X's ad filter. Media Matters then exclusively followed a small subset consisting entirely of accounts in two categories: those known to produce extreme fringe content and those owned by X's big-name advertisers. The end result was a feed precision designed by Media Matters for a simple purpose: to produce a side-by-side ad content placements that could be screenshotted in effect to alienate advertisers. Media Matters therefore resorted to endlessly scrolling and refreshing its unrepresentative, hand-selected feed, generating between 13 to 15 times more advertisements per hour than the viewer of an average X user, repeating this inauthentic activity until finally it received pages containing the result it wanted: controversial content next to X's largest advertisers. Media Matters omitted mentioning any of this in a report that they issued on November 16th, 2023, that displayed these instances. This is fraud. This has criminal liabilities associated with it. This has civil penalties associated with it. And every company that does this should be ashamed of themselves. IBM, of course, should be ashamed of themselves for helping the Nazi Party design the concentration camp system. IBM did do that. You're aware of this, right? Okay. And Disney should be apologizing for working with China with concentration camp labor on Mulan project. And Apple should be ashamed of themselves for outsourcing their iPhone manufacturing to slave labor. But none of that ever scratches the surface. Meanwhile, all these companies advertise on TikTok, where the number one trending topic is Osama bin Laden's letter to America, anti-Semitic letter to America. No calls for the banning of advertisers on TikTok. Isn't that shocking? So Osama bin Laden writes a letter, supposedly, I think it's written by the CIA, but anyway, writes a letter like steeped in deep and abiding anti-Semitism. It goes viral on TikTok. It's the only thing that anyone can see on TikTok. Thousands and 14 million views on the hashtag last time I checked, and not a single call for them to ban TikTok. Well, what does that tell you exactly? Yeah, it tells you everything you need to know, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a really, really excellent part of this story that is making me so happy, brimming with happiness. Here is the lawsuit news, first and foremost.
Ex-owner Elon Musk filing a lawsuit against the watchdog group Media Matters for allegedly misleading his platform's advertisers and users. And now the Texas Attorney General is opening an investigation into the group's potential fraudulent activity.
Carly Shimkus joins us right now with the very latest. Carly.
Yeah, good morning to you. That's right, guys. Media Matters is going under the microscope in the Lone Star State. Elon Musk says Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton revealed there would be an investigation into the left-wing group, saying, quote, "We are examining the issue closely to ensure that the public has not been deceived by the schemes of radical left-wing organizations who would like nothing more than to limit freedom by reducing participation in the public square." Media Matters published a report on Friday claiming that X is placing ads next to white nationalist hashtags. But Musk is standing his ground, saying the group's claims are false and threaten the platform's relationship with advertisers and millions of users. And that's why he's taken legal action, filing a lawsuit yesterday.
Come on, baby. Not just Elon Musk, as enumerated there in the report from Fox News. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has said now that they are investigating Media Matters for fraud. Hot damn. Check this out from Fox News. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is opening an investigation into Media Matters for potential fraudulent activity after ex-CEO Elon Musk accused the left-wing watchdog of manipulating data on social media. After a slew of advertisers, including IBM, Apple, Disney, and Lionsgate, Paramount, fled X, formerly known as Twitter, Musk pledged the watchdog group a thermonuclear lawsuit. Turns out that fraud is actually illegal, according to Attorney General Paxton. Under the Texas Business Organizations Code and Deceptive Trade Practices Act, the OAG will vigorously enforce against nonprofits who commit fraudulent acts affecting the state of Texas, the Texas Attorney General office said. Here's the tweet from Paxton. I think ALX was the first one to break this story. Am I wrong? Producer ALX was the first person to break this story that Ken Paxton is now investigating Media Matters. Man, you want to make these people writhe and squirm and shriek like demons? Here we go, baby. By the way, the great producer ALX, you gotta follow ALX on Twitter. Come on X. Come on, man. Not trying to dead name X. Sorry about that. X. ALX was first with this news, and this is how we fight. This is how we fight. Man, you want to take your medicine? You sons of bitches? You want to do this to us? Okay, fine. Fine. This is just like Harry Reid and killing the filibuster for judicial nominees, and we're going to give you one big fat Clarence Thomas. Supreme Court. Okay? How you like me now? Clarence Thomas with his gavel. That's what you get. You want to break it? You're going to buy it. Okay? Now, I look forward to seeing more of this. And it turns out that friend of the show, Missouri Attorney General, is now looking to investigate Media Matters as well for fraud. Because they did commit fraud. This is malicious, evident, demonstrable fraud that they have committed. You cannot do this. On this show, for instance, is a really great example. On this show, we have to be very, very careful how we talk about everything, right? This is why there's so many visual elements to this show. We have to show you the facts. We will never mislead you. I obviously have my own worldview on the show, and I'm going to present it in colorful language, but I'm going to show you what's happening. You can see it with your own two eyeballs. I'm going to demand, just like yesterday with the Capitol January 6 tapes, I'm going to demand that you look for yourself. Go in and see it for yourself. Media Matters did not say that what they did was effectively create a witch's kitchen soup in order to try and to create inauthentic activity that would lead to the stated result. And so in their reports, if they had published their reports saying, hey, what we did was we followed a white supremacist account and then we followed all these brands and then we refreshed the pages 50,000 times to get one screenshot, nobody would have taken them seriously. Nothing would have happened. So now the backlash is here. And now these state attorney generals, which have enormous power, are finally finding their balls and their spines and saying, wait a second, we can do this too. And once you crack open this little Pandora's box, you'll start to realize, wait a second, you could also charge fraud the Biden family. Hold up, wait a second. The Biden family committed major acts of fraud in the state of Florida. Where's our attorney general, Ashley Moody? Where's our attorney general? Sure, it'd be interesting to open up some fraud investigations into the Biden family. Why don't we make them squeal? Time for a state investigation. Use the taxpayer dollars to our advantage. It's not like at least we're not doing what the left does, which is going after nothing, creating, fabricating crimes. The Bidens had real crimes. In Arkansas, the Clintons have real crimes. I actually deeply regret not asking Sarah Sanders about that. She was on the show on Friday. The Clintons committed real crimes in Arkansas. So why is the Arkansas Attorney General and why isn't the district attorney in Little Rock looking into the Clinton Foundation? The moment you start to have people like us, like in the Benny Brigade and the Salty Army, begin to ask these questions and begin to put our shoulder to the wheel and leverage these conversations, this is how we get results. One little domino. I was doing debate prep with Vivek last week, and I said, you got to go after Ronna. She sucks at her job. And sure as shooting, Vivek starts the debate by going right after Ronna. We talked through it. We put a whole documentary on it. And now look what we've done. Now Donald Trump is all but calling for Ronna McRomney. She's a Romney. Wonder why she sucks at her job. I wonder why she's just simply dancing to the tune of Democrats in Washington, D.C. Now Donald Trump is calling for Ronna McRomney to leave. All but. He says major changes at the RNC needed, Donald Trump said on Truth Social yesterday. Look at what can happen when we unite together and start pushing and start activating and start using the power that we have to create a better world. Now, multiple attorney generals, Elon Musk, they're going after Media Matters. I'm getting Gawker vibes here. Remember, Gawker went out of business because of a lawsuit like this. They will not be able to survive this. And there will be criminal penalties associated with this. They may go to prison, which is so awesome. Some of the most respected reporters on earth who are left-wingers tried to replicate these results. Michael Schellenberger is one of them. Michael Schellenberger is saying that this is all fraud. We couldn't replicate these results at all. So actually, these screenshots may have actually been not real at all. Watch.
How fraudulent was this boycott attempt by Media Matters?
Hey, Jesse, good to be with you. I mean, it sounds shocking. It sounds like if you're on X, formerly known as Twitter, that you are being served up neo-Nazi content and that it's all being tied together with these big brands. Well, as you pointed out, they created fake accounts to follow neo-Nazis, and then they say that they got those ads served. Well, we did the same thing, as any journalist should have done as soon as they heard about this. We created fake accounts. We followed the exact same pro-Nazi accounts that Media Matters names, and we couldn't get any ads. We refreshed constantly. We went into the actual content itself. We then went and followed 3 times more pro-Nazi accounts. Same thing. We couldn't get any ads served up to us. So first of all, we were not able to replicate Media Matters. We asked Media Matters to respond, to explain how they gamed the system to be shown the ads after having already followed pro-Nazi content. We didn't hear back from them. I think that tells you that what's going on here, there's more than meets the eye, I would say.
So this is how they do it. Amazing. Cernovich, friend of the show, had this incredible tweet. The second that Elon Musk took over Twitter, he said, left-wingers will create Nazi sock puppet accounts to try and get advertisers to flee. Man, Cerno just nailed it. Like 2 years ago. It's so predictable. This is so predictable. And shame on these organizations. This is why this show has pledged a huge advertising budget on X just to support free speech, along with Tim Pool and the Babylon Bee. We joined together, and we're going to be doing big ads. I think that the ads that we should make, I called Tim last night, talk about this. I think the ads that we should make should be against Apple and IBM. We should do ads about how Apple uses slave labor, about how Disney thanked the Communist Party of China, who runs concentration camps, and how IBM helped Hitler plan the concentration camps. Those are the ads. I'll spend money on ads shaming those. Let's put them on blast, right? Let's go on offense. These people, these corporations have despicable histories when it comes to human rights. They're filthy. And this is what virtue signaling is all about. They're virtue signaling. They have no virtue. And they are being weaponized and rolled by left-wing dark money, humanity-hating groups funded entirely by George Soros. Media Matters is a Democrat front group. The Democrat Party has outsourced their laundry to these people to be hitmen. Watch.
We point out in today's article that Media Matters has always been a front group for the Democratic Party. It's always been a front group for the Democratic Party donors. So you go and basically have this alliance between the advertisers and a political party to censor and control what's on media platforms. That's very scary. That's very dangerous. People should be very concerned about what's happening. They should speak up and defend free speech on X, on all other social media platforms, because it's currently under attack by Media Matters.
Who's with me? I think this is a great idea. Like the ads that we should run, we can create them here. We have a great creative group, great production group. We can create them here. I'll create an entire ad that about every single company. We'll do a full investigation into every company that pulled their ads from X about how they've supported concentration camps, slave labor, and the literal Nazi party when it comes to IBM. How about that? This is a great idea. And then I'll run that ad. I'll put money behind that ad on X, and we'll shame them. Tim talked about this in his show last night. We should shame these advertisers. Shame works. It is good to punch back. And you find out these places have glass jaws. As soon as you throw one haymaker, man, we can fight back. We'll use the same tactics we used against Bud Light, against Target. Baby, feels good to be back. Elon Musk says that George Soros hates humanity. George Soros, of course, funded Media Matters from the beginning. So this is clearly a foreign funding. George Soros is a foreigner. He is funding an organization in order to interfere in our elections. And it's hard to argue with the results, whether it be the district attorneys, the pro-crime district attorneys that have utterly made war zones out of our inner cities, or the open borders, or places like Media Matters, which is dead set on destroying free speech. One of our only free speech platforms. Holy smokes, this guy's been successful. And maybe it's time to rein that in. I'm so proud of Republican attorney generals finally finding their balls and saying, oh, we can investigate you too. Now we just need to move that to the Bidens, the Clintons, and so forth, the Obamas. Elon Musk says that George Soros hates humanity, that he is fundamentally anti-human. And that is true. It is true for every Marxist that has ever Marxist. Is there like a adjective there? Every Marxist who's ever Marxist, they hate humanity. Karl Marx himself was a bearded slob who was a bum, who never worked, who lived off of effectively the money that was given to him by people who funded his research. He was a fat, smelly slob. He smelled of old wheels of cheese and mold. He was a despicable, repulsive human being. Again, physiognomy never lies. George Soros is a repulsive, despicable human being, and Elon Musk says he hates humanity. Watch.
I mean, Soros actually, he is, I believe, the top contributor to the Democratic Party. The second one was Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah. So, and Soros, I don't know. I mean, he had a very difficult upbringing, in my opinion, he fundamentally hates humanity. That's my opinion.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, well, he's doing things that erode the fabric of civilization. Getting DAs elected who refuse to prosecute crime. So he's good at spotting, basically arbitrage, like spotting value for money that other people don't see. So one of the things he noticed was that that the value for money in local races is much higher than it is in national races. So the lowest value for money is a presidential race. Then next lowest value for money is a Senate race, then a Congress, and but once you get to sort of city and state district attorneys, the value for money is extremely good. And Soros realized that you don't actually need to change the laws, you just need to change how they're enforced.
Listen, game, respect, game. George Soros, according to Elon Musk, arbitraged our electoral system here and bought all of these attorney generals and destroyed cities like St. Louis, Chicago, New York, LA, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle. And they tried as hard as they could in my city, and credit where credit is due, Ron DeSantis fired the guy because, well, you're not allowed to just not enforce the laws. It's incredible what happens when Republicans actually find their muscle and just say, hey, yo, this is this is where power actually resides. In us, in the populace. Us, we the people. And the populace doesn't like Joe Biden. And they don't like these international leftists. And they don't like these Marxists. We are 80, 90% of the population. Nobody wants to live under a communist superstate micromanaged by people like Joe Biden. Elon Musk talking about Joe Biden, saying that the most powerful person in America is the person who runs Joe Biden's teleprompter. You want to know why Elon Musk is a target? We have the clip for you. Go.
But it's not as if Biden has flipped the script and said, okay, we're going to go 180 degrees in the other direction. He's kind of kept it the same, which has been really surprising, actually.
Man, it's hard to tell what Biden's doing, to be totally frank. I feel like
it's weekend at Bernie's.
the real president is whoever controls the teleprompter. It's like the path to power is the path to the teleprompter. Because then he just reads the teleprompter. So I do feel like if somebody would accidentally lean on the teleprompter, it's going to be like Anchorman. It's going to be like QQQ ASDF 123 type of thing.
I mean, in fairness to Biden, he hasn't been napping as much as he needs to, but
it's hard to say these sort of things that are getting done. This administration it doesn't seem to get a lot.
Yeah, I wonder why Elon Musk is a target. Elon Musk just hates wokeism, and that's the fundamental driving force behind the man. He hates anti-human ideology. And I'll say this because we're all preparing for Thanksgiving, right? So we're all preparing to go to Thanksgiving. It didn't used to be this way. Like I'm not going to have any Hamas supporter at my Thanksgiving, right? I don't care who you are, right? If you're a member of my family, I'm not going to have you at my Thanksgiving table. Like, but it didn't used to be like this, where the other side wanted to put you in camps, right? Where the other side wanted to force injections into your body and believe that they controlled you. It didn't used to be this slave master mentality, right? You're a slave. If somebody can tell you what they are going to put into your body, otherwise you can't have bread to feed your family, you're a slave. If somebody can tell you what you're allowed to think, what you're allowed to say, you're a slave. Call it what it is. It's chattel slavery. And that is why these people actually love concentration camps. Places like these evil corporations like Disney. They actually love concentration camps. They love them. They want you to live in one. They want to control what you say, what you do, and what you inject into your body. They want to force that upon you, what you can and cannot think. Shut up. Shut up and eat the gruel. It's 1984. Eat the sludge. That's what they want. That's what they're demanding. They're not taking their advertising off X because it was serviced next to an ad that they don't support. They actually support that ideology. They support that worldview of total control of a population. They do it in their actions. That's the irony of this whole thing. That's the sick thing here. They're taking their advertising off X because Elon Musk is actually trying to create a free world, and they are against a free world. They're against freedom, liberty, freedom of thought, creativity. They're actually against that. Think different was Apple's old saying. It is the opposite now. Think exactly and entirely and totally exactly only what we tell you to think. It's an abomination. So these people are monsters, and these corporations need to be shamed. I'm going to get together with the Babylon Bee, and I'm going to get together with Tim Pool, and we're going to shame them. We're going to put our collective firepower together, and we're going to humiliate these companies. We're going to do a deep dive into how evil these companies actually are, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be awesome. Elon Musk saying, I'm not right wing. I'm pro humanity. So important. Such an important point to make. Watch.
Over the past year or so, since purchasing X, you've become more political. Is there a part of you that regrets that?
Have I?
In this battle to sort of counterweigh the woke that comes from
I guess if you consider fighting the woke mind virus, which I consider to be a civilizational threat, to be political, then yes.
So basically going into the battleground of politics. Is there a part of you that regrets that?
Yes, I don't know if this is necessarily sort of one candidate or another candidate, but it's I'm generally against things that are anti-meritocratic or where there's an attempt to suppress discussion, where even discussing a topic is, not allowed.
Isn't that the point? That's what these companies are actually standing against. These companies are pro-totalitarianism. They're pro-Marxism. They're pro-total control of your life. So it's good to know. It's good to know. And I'm gonna get together with my boys, Seth Dillon at the Babylon Bee and Tim Pool, and we're gonna make it hurt. We're gonna make it hurt. You people don't understand the hornet's nest that you've kicked. A Trump-appointed judge will preside over Elon Musk's high-profile lawsuit. Spaghetti-o. A Trump-appointed judge a judge appointed by Donald Trump will oversee the high-profile lawsuit filed by Musk against the far-left organization Media Matters. This judge in the Northern District of Texas, is the same judge that demanded that the FDA release the Pfizer files and ordered the FDA to expedite the release of its Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine documentation. Oh, man. Judge Pittman, get ready, baby. We're ready. We are ready. It's going to be an incredible run. We are very much looking forward to a time where we fight back. The panic is real, and it is setting in, and it is palpable. And we love the smell of panic in the morning. We love the smell of salt in the morning. Morning Joe had a deeply salty clip. Here's our Salt That Lib clip. So get your salt shakers out, baby. Get your salt shakers shaking, okay? I want to see nothing but pure salt in the comment section to let you know how terrified the left is of this current moment in time where we are now learning to finally fight back as a movement. And they are understanding that they are deeply unpopular. The beautiful thing about populism is that it's popular, okay? In a moment, we'll be joined by a member of Congress who was on the border with Donald Trump just a few days ago, serving Thanksgiving turkey to our great Border Patrol, Monica de la Cruz. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get to that salty treat, let me give you another one. Your salty, salty, salt that lib moment of the day. Morning Joe melting down, saying that Donald Trump's going to do to us what we've been doing to him. Oh, no. Watch.
Him like a normal candidate. He's not a normal candidate. He is running to end American democracy as we know it. He's an authoritarian who a court in Colorado 2 days ago ruled that he led an insurrection against the United States government. He's charged with leading schemes to help overthrow the United States government. So if they want to frame it that way, that's fine. If you want to be fair, then you will frame this as Joe Biden being the candidate that supports American democracy and Donald Trump, a candidate who supports a new form of government here that's authoritarian. It's really that simple. And by the way, Reverend Al, when people go, oh, you can't compare him to past Nazi leaders, you can't compare him to this past Nazi leader or that past fascist leader, because he hasn't done that. Well, what hasn't he done? He hasn't done the things that the American judicial system did not allow him to do. And if he is voted into office, then a lot of these people that are talking about literal or figurative or whatever the hell they're saying, you're going to look like idiots because he will get away with, he will imprison, he will execute whoever he's allowed to imprison, execute, drive from the country. Just look at his past. It's not really hard to read.
Oh, Donald Trump will put his political enemies in jail. What? Wait, what? You're kidding, right? You're joking, right? This is something like to send us into the holidays and a lively. Donald Trump will put his political enemies in jail and then execute them. Oh, really? You mean like exactly what you've been cheering for, Joe? Don't ask too much about Joe's interns. Speaking of, don't ask too much about Joe's background and history, or you'll find, just like the advertisers who pulled their advertisements from X, that Joe isn't that moral of a individual or person. Yeah. We love salting libs on this channel, and we love this story. Birthday blues for Biden. Polls show 81-year-old losing by 7 points to Trump in an 11-point landslide. Defeat to a generic Republican as Democrat senators call for an end to hand-wringing and eyeball rolling over 2024. Baby, Donald Trump is going to win. Do you feel that energy? Donald Trump's going to win. You cannot stop what's coming, and it's going to be delicious. We're going to have so much salt on hand. Now, somebody who had a big, fat turkey on hand with Donald Trump was a wonderful representative from the border in Texas, Monica de la Cruz, in the Texas 15th Congressional District, Congresswoman, joins us now fresh off of serving Border Patrol hot, delicious, salty Thanksgiving turkey with Donald Trump. Welcome to the show. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being on the program. You are the first Republican to represent Texas's 15th Congressional District since its creation. Congratulations.
Thank you. And what an honor it has been. And an even bigger honor to serve a big, fat, delicious turkey down in South Texas with President Trump, Texas Department of Public Safety, Border Patrol. It was absolutely fantastic.
So we have some images of that beautiful service that will be popping up in a moment here. I want to show this. I'm not sure. Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, you're going to be in these shots. So tell me about it. Like, what was it like? Was this planned? Did Donald Trump's like, let's give him the turkey? And also, how long did he do that? I mean, did he stand here? Did he serve everyone?
Look, Betty, when you're hanging out with President Trump, nothing is off the table, and always be flexible and spontaneous.
Yeah.
So it was such a treat. You see our DPS officers there. And what I heard from the DPS officers and Border Patrol was that never had they had a president that served every single individual and took pictures, as you just saw there, with every single person that wanted a picture. You know, we have politicians that come down to South Texas and do the photo op, serve a couple of plates and then, go around the corner and drink their, Dos Equis beer, but not President Trump. He stood there, he shook the hands of these honorable men and women, and boy, was it fantastic to see, and what an honor for their hard work, and how it shows the stark difference between President Trump, who's been there plenty of times to South Texas. And let me tell you how many times President Joe Biden has been down there. Let me count. Hold on. It is never has he been down to South Texas to see the chaos that he's caused.
So what did Donald Trump tell you behind the scenes? Give us a color story from the trip.
Well, colorful is always President Trump. He reminded us once again, and we don't need his verbal reminder to see what we already know, which is under President Trump, we had the safest, most secure border in American history. Under President Joe Biden, we have seen the most unsecure, open border policies ever in American history, with over 450% increase in fentanyl that is killing Americans nationwide. We see the 1.5 gotaways. We don't know where they are. But guess what? The FBI is saying, we think that some kind of terrorist action may happen on American soil. Well, wow. You are a brain surgeon. Of course, when you have 1.5 million people who got away, we have no idea who they are. And we know we have over 100 known terrorists on the terror watch list in America, who, by the way, are not out serving turkey hot meals to the underserved in our community, but who want and are coming with intentional harm to America. That is Joe Biden's America. That is Joe Biden's open policy, border policy.
Congresswoman, you were a victim of this. They attacked your office. They vandalized your office and could have harmed people that work for you. I believe we have the images here to prove it. You were a victim of a terrorist sympathizing at the very tangential, even just tangentially, terrorist sympathizing element inside of the Democrat Party. Like, what was this like? This must have been horrifying for you.
Look, it was horrific for myself and my staff who, by the way, the hardworking individuals in my office are working on passports. They're helping people come legally through their visas and other areas that staffers help with on a local level. South Texas is a warm community, and what happened here was despicable. It was disgusting, and they were trying to scare voices like mine that are going to continue to stand with the Jewish community, that are going to continue standing with Israel and its right to defend itself. So while these people who vandalized my office thought they were going to scare us away and tell whole, it actually ignited the opposite. Our community came together. We stand with the Jewish community. I called the rabbis and said, whatever you need from me in my office, I stand with you. This will not deter my efforts and my voice.
So right now, Elon Musk is being accused of being an anti-Semite, right? It's absolute and blatant, undeniable, demonstrable and malicious fraud, right, from Media Matters. And a Texas judge is going to be overseeing this. Obviously, Elon Musk, I don't think it's in your district, but Elon Musk provides a lot of jobs to Texas, has a number of factories in Texas, likes Texas a lot, wears a cowboy hat on occasion, goes down to the U.S. border. That might have been in your district. I'm not sure. But he's visited the border and brought attention to it. Your thoughts on this lawsuit that dropped yesterday and the great state of Texas being the place where the shootout's gonna go down?
Well, you are absolutely right. Elon Musk has a location right here in South Texas, about 30 miles from my district. And he brings a lot of jobs and opportunities. And he's actually toured the border in my district. So I thank him for investing in Texas, and what a great place to be in the free state of Texas. I support Ken Paxton, and I support the case that they have opened on Media Matters. You know, Media Matters will say that they're fighting anti-Semitism and censoring, but we know that's the exact opposite of what they're trying to do. Because if censorship actually mattered, if anti-Semitism actually mattered, then they would be covering Rep. Tlaib and the anti-Semitic comments that she has made on the Capitol, and what happened on the Capitol because of her anti-Semitic comments. So we know that is not what Media Matters is about. And you said it earlier, Benny, you hit it on the nail when you said it is about control. That is exactly right. It is about controlling freedom of speech and controlling information such as Hunter Biden's laptop in the last election. What kind of impact would that have made to the election? So this is about control and the upcoming election for 2024. And they see the numbers that you just showed on your screen. President Joe Biden is going to lose to President Trump. We all know that. The writing's on the wall. And that's why Media Matters is now engaged.
They can't win in a fair fight. It sounds like from Politico this morning that there is going to be an impeachment vote on Joe Biden, that those articles are being prepared. Can you illuminate for us what that process is inside of Congress right now and give us an update?
Well, that actually goes into another committee that would be under Judiciary Committee, and the fine work that Jim Jordan does. He is an excellent rep. He is fact-finding. You have seen him in his work, and I can tell you that Judiciary Committee is going to do something that the Democrats failed to do when they brought these charges to Trump, and that is that they are actually going to bring real evidence to the table, and they are going to bring facts to the table when this happens. They are not going to do what the Democrats do, which is absolutely nothing when it comes to facts, and they build cases on emotion and not even factual emotion.
Yes, just like with this Media Matters story, there is criminal and civil penalties for fraud in the state of Texas. If the Attorney General finds that Media Matters committed fraud, which seems demonstrable when you look at the actual evidence, would you be for civil and criminal penalties being leveled against the people, the leadership at Media Matters?
Look, people need to be held accountable, and I'm thankful that this case will be held in Texas. There's reasons why people are fleeing communist California and coming over here. It's because we follow the law. We want to see people succeed in our nation. We want to have a secure border. And so that's why I'm supporting Ken Paxton and this case, because the truth in Texas will be heard.
Yes. Very, very good. Okay, so final question, the truth being heard, massive news. Of course, you Republicans in Congress drop it on a Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You release the January 6th tapes when I'm on a flight. I'm like, oh my God. But we've covered it, and we covered it a lot on this show, and we say thank you. I want to begin by saying thank you. I know you supported Speaker Mike Johnson, and the release of these tapes is so important for us to simply see. We can handle the truth, right? We can handle the truth. You hit a cop, you should go to prison. I don't care. You should get charged. I don't care what side you're on. But what it seems like is that in the release of these, what you're seeing is a lot of people just peacefully walking around the United States Capitol building, like semi-confused and not sure what they're really a part of. What are you taking from this release? What will we find out next? And what is going to be the recourse for the people who lied clearly about January 6th?
Well, I think that's why the work that Congressman Jim Jordan and Comer do together when it comes to January 6th and actually doing what needs to happen, uncovering the truth and finding the people that actually have lied and holding them accountable for their actions. That's what I love about the Republican Party is that we stand up for truth. We want truth. And just like you said, if someone does something wrong, whether it is a crime that a police officer or anybody makes, we want people held accountable. But guess what? If that officer didn't commit a crime or person didn't commit a crime, then they should not be held captive for things that they didn't commit. Laws do matter, and we must honor our laws in this country. And that's been lost under the Biden administration.
Yes. Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining the show. Happy Thanksgiving. Do you have a Thanksgiving tradition in your family? Do you cook the turkey? What's going on?
I do. I cook the turkey. I hold Thanksgiving. I love to host everybody at my house. The more, the merrier.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Congresswoman. Keep up the fight. God bless you, and please go impeach Joe Biden.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have so many interesting news stories coming down the pike for you. Stuff that is going to happen. It's going to happen real quickly. All right. We know a lot of things about a lot of things, and there's going to be some fast news hitting. That's why you got to stay connected with us. That's why you got to use Patriot Mobile. You got to hop on to that sweet Patriot Mobile network and make sure that you are connected with us in real time. We will bring you there. We have trips planned over the holidays that you do not want to miss. We got stuff brewing that's going to be so exciting. And we say, please consider joining Patriot Mobile because they are a cell phone company that actually believes in your values. PatriotMobile.com/Benny. Call 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation today with the offer code Benny. Make the switch today and support a free speech company, much like X, that actually cares about you and its customers. Support free speech. Make the switch to Patriot Mobile today. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody who's making the switch is somebody in New York that was on Fox News recently talking about, like a woman in New York talking about what life has been like under Joe Biden. Now, this is a woman who voted Democrat in the last election, and now she's like, oh, hell no. We got to get off the plantation? Is that the actual quote? Play the tape.
Pike that are going to affect the brown and black community, just like the illegals that are being pushed into these communities, sucking up the resources from the longtime residents that live there. All right, taxpayers. Poor taxpayers are now going to have to foot the bill for these people, and we can't even afford to pay our own rent. All right. Now we have tax coming down to programs and different things that are going to be cut directly from our community to pay for illegals. All right. There's a problem with that. There's a huge problem with it. And, minorities may be silent as far as being vocal, but I believe that in 24, this new election, the next cycle, we're going to see a overwhelmingly amount of people that we have not seen in 30 years come out to vote. All right, people are being educated on the voter registration piece, how to change their party affiliation, question number 14 on their voter registration form, and people are walking away from the plantation of the Democratic Party once and for all.
Baby, you feel that energy? We're out here. I feel the energy. I feel it. Get a load of this. You want to talk about people feeling something. Well, those troops who did not feel the injections that the government tried to force on us, those troops who took their discharge, their involuntary discharge in the military, they are now suing. Ooh, baby, I love this chapter of the book. Former troops punished over Biden's vaccine mandate sue for billions in lost wages. Former troops are suing the U.S. government for lost pay and benefits due to Biden administration's military injection mandate. One of the lawyers who successfully brought down the anthrax vaccine told Breitbart, hot damn. Attorney Dale Saran, a retired military and fellow attorney Andy Meyer, are representing former troops in 3 separate lawsuits and plan to turn into a class action lawsuit on behalf of the 10,000 service members who lost their jobs, were kicked out, or illegally ordered to leave the military due to them saying, I am not a slave. Oh yeah, that's right. The lawyers are saying it's worth billions. That's just flat out. That's just what back pay is. Billions of dollars. The lawsuits were filed in the U.S. Federal Court of Claims, and they are going to go hard in at Joe Biden and this regime. That's what it is. It's these military men and women saying, I am not a slave. You do not own my body. You do not get to tell me what I can or cannot think or say or read. If you can do that, I am a slave. If you can control my thoughts, I am a slave. If you can control the injections that I get and force me to get them in order to eat or work, then I'm a slave. And so that is what this is really about. It was the same in the time of Christ. The same struggle. Freedom versus slavery. And it is our struggle today. And we need to start being smart and framing our arguments that way. I say a lot of things about the left. I don't like them at all. They're dirty, filthy, smelly communists, just like Karl Marx. His beard, oh, it smelled of vinegar with flies caught in it and that had been left out on a hot summer day and inside of a moldy cheese wheel. It's a disgusting man. Karl Marx is their hero. He's a sick fraud, a bum, a lazy slob, a fat bastard who did nothing with his life and would be the number one person that I would eliminate from history if I had a time machine. I'm telling you, 100 out of 100 trips in my time machine. That's just the way it works. That man has caused more evil and more harm to the world than any human person that has ever existed. I say that to say this. I don't like these people, but they have a lot of time on their hands, and they come up with good framing for their arguments. And they come up with framing where, like, simpletons can understand. And we need to get better at that as a party. That is my goal in life, to actually help frame these arguments to be more understandable. Freedom versus slavery. These people wish slavery upon you. They want to tell you what to think. They want to tell you what you can say. They want to tell you what you can read. They want to tell you what social media platforms you can use. They want to destroy you if you don't accept their injections. They want you to be a slave. We want you to be free. We want you to live free. And the only thing that will set you free is the truth. Let's read some truth today from Psalms 23. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all of the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Remember this on Thanksgiving. Remember that God, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, wants us to dwell in peace and to live free, to have goodness and love in our lives. I got 3 little kids, man. I feel a lot of goodness. I feel a lot of love. And it's a wonder. That's the beauty of children, right? Is it helps you like kind of embrace that purity in life. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we should do. You cannot defeat a happy army. You cannot defeat a salty army. Stay salty, stand upright, be upstanding, and march forward. It's your boy Benny. See ya.